The night before my pitch felt like standing on the edge of something huge. My promotion wasn't just a step up, it was the chance to finally prove to the company and to myself that I was more than just another name on payroll. For months, I had poured my soul into crafting the perfect presentation. Late nights, endless spreadsheets, graphs that told stories sharper than any words. My laptop was the vessel carrying all of it. I guarded it like a soldier protects his weapon. At around 6 a.m., just as the sun was breaking through my curtains, I woke to the sound of footsteps. Heavy, deliberate, my father's. The door creaked open, and there he was, his figure outlined by the hallway light. His expression was already sour, like he had been building anger all night. His eyes landed on the glow of my laptop screen, which I had left open with my slides paused mid. Another night wasted on that toy, he muttered, stepping inside. I sat up, rubbing my eyes. Dad, it's not a toy. This is my work. Tomorrow's my big pitch. He scoffed. Promotion. You kids think staring at screens makes you important. Back in my day. I cut him off, frustration boiling. Back in your day isn't today. This is how work is done now. That was the wrong thing to say. His jaw tightened. He walked over and grabbed the laptop. My pulse shot up. Dad, don't please. I slid out of bed, panic setting in. You're wasting your life on this, he said, raising the laptop as if it weighed nothing. Stop, I shouted, reaching for it. But in one swift, reckless motion, he slammed it shut and cracked it hard against the wooden desk. The screen shattered, a spider web of broken glass and pixels. My heart stopped. Dad. Before I could reach him, he threw it down on the floor. The hinge snapped, plastic splintered, and with a pitiful flicker, the screen went black, dead. I dropped to my knees, hands trembling over the broken pieces. My chest tightened, vision blurring with rage and disbelief. Why would you do this? My voice was barely a whisper. You'll thank me one day, he said flatly, turning toward the door. That thing is ruining you. Ruining me. I looked up at him, tears burning in my eyes. Dad, you just ruined me. But he didn't respond. He just walked out, leaving me surrounded by the wreckage of the one thing that held my future. I sat there for minutes or maybe hours, just staring. All those late nights, all those formulas, all those slides, gone in seconds. My promotion pitch was tomorrow morning, and I had nothing. For a moment, I felt small, beaten. Maybe he was right. Maybe I was just a fool chasing dreams in pixels and data. But then, deep inside, another voice rose. No, he doesn't get to decide this. Not him, not like this. And with that thought, a fire sparked in me. I wasn't going to let him win. Shock gave way to survival mode. I grabbed my phone, desperately searching through cloud backups. Some files were there, but incomplete half-finished drafts, outdated charts, missing visuals. The most important deck, the one I had fine-tuned until midnight, was gone. I cursed under my breath. Panic pressed on my chest, but panic wouldn't save me. I thought of Malik, my colleague and closest friend at work. If anyone could help me rebuild, it was him. My hands shook as I dialed. He answered groggily. Bro, what's going on? Why are you calling so early? Malik, I blurted. My dad. He smashed my laptop. Everything's gone. My pitch is tomorrow. I'm screwed. There was a pause. Then his voice sharpened. Text me your address. I'll be there in 20. True to his word. Malik showed up with his laptop under one arm and coffee in the other. His calm presence steadied me. All right, he said, setting up on the dining table. Tell me what you remember. Let's rebuild. We scavenged whatever scraps we could find. Email attachments, old drafts, screenshots I'd sent him weeks ago. Piece by piece, we stitched together a skeleton of the deck. It was rough. Missing polish. Missing the slick graphs that impressed bosses. At one point, I buried my face in my hands. This isn't enough. It's weak. They'll laugh me out of the room. Malik leaned forward. Listen. They're not promoting a slideshow, man. They're promoting you. Maybe this is your chance to prove you don't need fancy slides. Maybe you show them raw truth instead. I lifted my head, his words sinking in. Could I really do it? Present without hiding behind visuals. Just speak. That night, I tested it. I stood in the living room and delivered the pitch aloud, using words to paint pictures instead of slides. I stumbled at first, searching for rhythm. But the more I spoke, the stronger I felt. This isn't about slides, I reminded myself. It's about solutions, leadership, conviction. Meanwhile, my father lingered in the background. At dinner, he avoided my eyes. My mom placed food in front of me and whispered, "He didn't mean it. He thinks he's helping." Helping? I muttered bitterly. He destroyed everything I built. But deep down, I knew. He hadn't destroyed me yet. The morning of the pitch, my stomach twisted with nerves. I borrowed Malik's spare laptop, packed a USB with the patched up slides, and prayed for mercy. On the commute, I whispered my opening lines, clutching my notes like lifelines. Every stop of the subway felt like a countdown to judgment. When I entered the conference room, the air was sharp with expectation. My boss sat at the head, flanked by the CEO and CFO. Their eyes were already scanning watches, waiting. I plugged in the laptop. The projector blinked, then failed. The slides wouldn't load. My heart dropped. The room grew restless. Someone coughed. In that moment, I remembered Malik's words. "They're not promoting a slideshow. They're promoting you." I took a breath, stepped forward, and spoke. "I came here prepared to show you slides," I began. Voice steady, despite my pounding heart. But sometimes life throws you so instead of reading numbers off a screen, I'll tell you directly what matters. The room stilled. I launched into the pitch, walking them through the problems and on the customer drop-off rates, the missed opportunities. I described solutions in clear, practical steps. Instead of pointing at graphs, I painted them in words. Imagine if every new client felt guided, not abandoned. Retention would jump by 20%. That's not speculation, it's what happens when we fix on. Questions came hard and fast. The CFO challenged my projections. I met his gaze and explained the assumptions behind them, offering alternate scenarios if they wanted safer numbers. The CEO asked about risks. I didn't dodge, I outlined them, and then showed how we'd counteract each one. My voice grew stronger, my confidence rising with each nod around the table. For once, they weren't just looking at my slides, they were listening to me. After 30 intense minutes, I closed. Resilience isn't about avoiding setbacks. It's about adapting when things break. That's the kind of leader I'll be if you give me this role. The silence afterward was thick. Then, slowly, my boss began to clap. The CEO followed. Soon the room filled with applause. I felt like I had just climbed out of a storm and stood tall on the other side. 2 weeks later, the call came. "Congratulations," my boss said. "You've been promoted. You didn't just present a plan, you proved leadership under pressure. We need that." I hung up, hands shaking with joy. I had done it. Against all odds, I had risen. That evening I told my dad. He looked at me, stunned. After what I did to your laptop," I nodded. "Because of what you did. You thought breaking it would stop me. Instead, it forced me to show who I really am." For the first time, his tough facade cracked. His voice was quiet, almost ashamed. "I didn't think, I never meant, I thought you were wasting your time." I didn't answer. The silence spoke louder than any words. Later, he left an envelope on my desk, $500 in cash. His way of saying sorry. We never talked about the laptop again, but things changed. He started asking about my work, listening instead of dismissing. Our conversations grew softer, less sharp. Maybe he realized that breaking tools doesn't break determination. As for me, I carried the lesson like armor. Sabotage doesn't define you, it reveals you. Every time I sit down at a new laptop, I remember the night the old one shattered. I remember the fire it lit in me. And I remind myself, resilience isn't built in comfort, it's forged in the wreckage. My dad thought breaking my $2,400 laptop would stop me. Instead, it became the very reason I stood taller, stronger, and unstoppable.